Alright, let's talk about the percent of change today. So let's take notes, guys. Let's get out your notebook and write this title down. So what is a percent of change, you might ask? Every time that you experience either an increase or a decrease that is expressed in percent, we call that a percent of change. For instance, you walk into a store one day, it's said it's on sale at 10% for 10% off, and all of a sudden the next day you come in, it says now it's 20%. That is a change in percent, and that is an increase. So let's define that word: percent of change. It's an increase or decrease that's expressed as a percent. Okay, go ahead and write that down. Of course, this is on video, so you can certainly pause it any moment you want to have this written down. Next word I want to talk about is the percent of increase. Well, when you actually experience this kind of change, well, typically a good example would be a markup. What is a markup? Well, a markup is when, let's say you're a store owner and you're buying something. Well, in order for you to make profit, you have to raise the price, and that is considered to be a markup. Okay, so that means you increase. And vice versa, the percent of decrease means you get a discount. That's when you lower the price to lower the customer, okay, a discount. Now we're going to have a few examples for you today, and let's start with one example. Here's example number one. Imagine that you're trying to sell an item that you possess for quite a while, and that item is worth $25. So the first thing you want to do is you got to think about, well, okay, the original cost of that, since the right original, cost $25. Now, since you want to lower the price to lure in your customer or whoever your potential client might be, your new price now, you lower it to $20. So then we want to find what is the percent of change. In this case, notice that because your price is lower, we really want to find the percent of decrease. But we need to know, what is the change? We know it's decreasing, but how much is it? So what you do is you take, of course, your new, notice, minus your original price. I'm actually writing out a formula for you right now, which is $25. Notice that it's giving you a negative $5. What it means is because you're dropping, this negative right here means you're dropping the price down to $5. So that is the change. Change is decreasing. That's why it's a negative sign. Okay, so it's a drop of $5. So how do you find a percent? How do you find a percent based on what you just found, that it's dropping $5? Well, in this case, all you have to do is take what you have, the difference from new minus original, which is negative 5. You divide it. Here's an important piece. Make sure that you divide it over your original price, not your new, over your original. So it's negative 5 over 25. Okay, so let's reduce that. That's going to be negative 1 over 5, or equivalent to negative 20%. Okay, notice that I keep the negative because I know this is a decrease, a percent of decrease, not increase. Of course, if you get an increase, you get positive 20%. Okay, so then your final answer for this one is, it's a percent of decrease of 20%. Okay, so you can stop the video at this point to review, or let's move on to our next example of a percent of increase. Here's example number 2. So pretend that you have, let's see, your original price. So make sure you know what is the original and what's the new one. The original price is $45, and you want to raise it to $50. So once again, we want to figure out what is the percent of change. Now, at this point in time, you know that this is definitely an increase, right? So we are trying to find the percent of increase from $45 to $50. So what is the change here? You're basically taking, once again, here's the formula, new minus the original price. So that means it's $50 minus 45, and you get back $5. What it means is, notice that this time the number is positive, right? Positive means increase, negative means decrease. So it's a $5 increase. And you want to find a percent of that. What you do is you take that change, which is 5, put it over, what is it? Not new, original. Don't forget, you always put it over your original price. So it's 5 over 45. Okay? So when you reduce that correctly, let's try to reduce right now. 1/9, right? We still need to figure out what is the percent of that. Now, for those of you who want to continue trying to figure out the percent, certainly you can try to set up a division problem if you want to. Here's the 9 going outside. So 9 cannot go into 1. So 0 times. Follow 0. 9 is going to 10 1 time. So it's going to be 9. Once again, it's repeated as you can see. So that's about roughly 11%. So notice decimal, you got to move 2 places to the right to convert back to percent. So the answer for this one is 11% increase. Okay? Any question on that? Let's stop it.